Hey, welcome back to episode Instant Ramen Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and as always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, bud.
How's it going, man?
I'm so fucking good. You know why?
Why?
Today is the last day that we're doing Anime Expo. It's going on tomorrow. We're missing a huge thing. Rascal does not dream of Dreamy Girl.
Yeah, we don't want to fucking talk about it, though, because we're so upset.
I'm a little bit peeved right now.
I'm fucking PO'd, bro. You know what that stands for?
No.
We're pretty overly upset.
That
Doesn't sound...
sounds really rough, bud.
Yeah, so Anime Expo, today we're reviewing, technically day 3, right? We're not going to do day 4 because our flight is kind of in midday and...
It's shit. It's really tough. Like, essentially, if we went to go see Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl, which is the only thing that we want to do tomorrow, then we would have to leave as soon as it starts in order to make our flight.
Yeah, which is kind of inconvenient because you know what's
why is that inconvenient?
Because I'm gonna fucking pay money to get a new flight.
Shit.
And we got to be back in Chico. There's a lot of things happening, you know.
Yeah, that's whoa. Look out.
So that's a bummer. I mean, I think usually day 4 what we do when there isn't something to watch is we go there, to the exhibit hall. We drop off our balls at like fucking the baggy.
Our balls?
Balls? Did I say balls?
Yeah, you did.
I drop my balls. I don't know what you drop off.
Heck.
We drop off our bags at the baggage claim section, bag check or whatever, and then we just kind of fucking speed run the exhibit hall, right?
Yeah, essentially we're like, hey, I want to go find these figures. I was seeing them around for 8. I wonder if I could find one for 7.
And then we just kind of run around. And that's just kind of it, because usually there isn't anything scheduled on the last day that we want to watch.
The last day is essentially like closing ceremonies and a bunch of like not premieres or anything important, but like videos.
But this year we got fucked over. Also, you know what happened too, which is interesting. You know, Anime Expo was always around the 4th, right?
Yeah.
This year it happened to start on the 4th.
Yeah.
Which was a Wednesday. So it kind of made it so Sunday was the day that like is the last day, right? There's been days where the last day for us has been a Saturday. It just kind of depends on how things are. And this year,
it just kind of fucks with work schedules. Man. Long story short, why don't we talk about some anime news, man? Because I'm done. I'm fucking done talking about not anime news.
Okay, let's fucking do it.
All right, so this morning. We left separately, actually.
That's true.
You and Sierra left earlier than I did because I was like, I mean, we talked about this last night after we recorded. We were like, you know what, man? We got tickets.
Yeah.
We got press passes. We could make it to the My Hero thing in time. We stayed up late recording and posting. I don't know if you guys saw when it was posted, but it was like 1 a.m. or something. So anyways, you guys left a little bit earlier than I did. I got there probably around 9.
But you only got there when you did because... we hit you up because when Sierra and I got there, we went to the premiere line, which we're usually with the press lines up, and some guy who was working the fucking place said, "Yeah, this is only for premiere press. Premiere and ADA or whatever. Yeah, press is just technically general admission. Go outside." And so we're like, well, fuck. It means you have to go outside.
Yeah.
We were up against the wall outside at Hall B. Yeah. Which is where we've been
hanging out there a lot, honestly.
We've been there in the past. We paid our dues, bro. We understand how shitty the lines are there. Yeah. We get it. We were like that shit snakes back and forth. We were like on the 3rd or the 4th snake part of it.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
It's like a few hundred people.
It's still pretty good. We've made it into that hall further down.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I was
for My Hero.
Yeah. I was like, well, fuck. You know what? It is what it is. We hit you up letting you know the situation, and you said, well, I gotta come over. You lucked out though. Honestly, I went there and I'm like, I was trying to be super business about it. I saw Garrett from Mega 64 as I got off the shuttle, and I like walked behind him and was in security and whatnot, and I'm like, as much as I want to like say, hey man, I appreciate all the work you did, and like I really liked your panel and all that shit, I don't want to take up his time and I don't want to take up my time because we had a fucking daylight that was burning. Yeah, we had to get there quick. So anyways, went up. They were doing some weird ass like you can't go down this hallway kind of thing. So I just businessed my way outside, saw where all y'all were lined up, and then I went up to somebody who was wearing a red vest talking to some other buddy, and they were just like chatting. I'm like, hey guys, sorry to interrupt, just wanted to make sure, is there a line for press to line up? And they said, okay, go to
they're like, yeah, just head inside. Like, no big deal at all.
Which is great,
Yeah, I hit you guys up, and I'm like, so I was just told that we're all good to go in here if you want.
But by this point...
long story short, you were already in a good spot. You've been waiting for a little bit. Plus, just wait it out. Don't risk it.
Our line also moved, so we weren't when we first we were on the fourth row. We were right at the edge, so we could have just popped out any second. True. But by the time you got there, like we had moved forward, so we were like in the trapped. Middle, and then more rows have been added. I was like, you know what,
an ocean.
Fuck, we're just gonna wait it out. If Trip does get in there, he'll just save us a spot. Don't
worry, man. We got in there. We got decent spots. I tried to make sure it was on the edge and that we would be able to see. Then people came in front of us, and I still was able to see fine.
Me too, yeah.
Anyways, Funimation was putting on this event. We did not realize it was going to be an English dub of the first episode of season 4. Right? You know what? We maybe should have.
Funimation is all about fucking simul dubs. That's their fucking bread and butter.
Funimation last year was like, we're going to present to you guys the fucking My Hero Academia movie. And then we were like, wow, crazy. And they were like, check it out. This is the English voice actor for All Might. This is the English voice actor for Deku. Enjoy Japanese anime. Yeah. So this year, instead, they brought out one Japanese voice actress for The Invisible Girl. And then everybody else was English voice actors for a bunch of characters that weren't in the episode. Here we go. Dabi.
Yeah.
Overhaul.
Yeah.
Endeavor.
Yeah.
Todoroki.
Yeah.
Ooh, hang on. Million.
Le Million, yeah.
Yeah, Le Million.
You're not going to get this one. You know why you're not going to get this one? Because while we were watching this panel...
Red Riot.
Damn it. I forgot who the last guy was. Yeah, the last guy was Red Riot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just a bunch of the English voice actors, bunch of dudes, one chick. And one Japanese chick, yeah.
I don't know, though. The lineup was so weird. So Lemillion was in the episode, and that was it?
No, Overhaul was also in it.
Oh, Overhaul was at the very beginning. And Dabi wasn't.
No, that's about it.
Yeah.
Like all the other characters. Anyways,
it was just a weird lineup, a weird situation, but it was cool that they all got to go there and promote and talk a little bit about behind the scenes. I actually thought it was really interesting how they voice certain scenes differently than others for different characters, depending on what the director wants. So for the most part, they don't get to see the full episode; they just see the scenes that they're in. If they have talking lines, they don't get to see experiences that shape them necessarily or their characters. So it's interesting how they choose to do different things for different characters. And then I guess for Todoroki's voice actor, he has started being one of the few people, I guess, who watch the full episode and then they record the voice over instead of just doing that little bit like everyone else does. I don't know, really weird. So everyone has a different procedure behind it, and they all have different ways that they kind of get into their characters, and they were able to talk about that, and it was actually pretty interesting.
One bit that I really liked about this was the Red Riot voice actor said that whoever his voiceover director was has told him to stop reading the manga.
Colleen,
because there's for this next arc, there's an upcoming bit with Red Riot that is really
it'll change the direction of the character.
It's really dope. I actually I know exactly what it is, and I think she doesn't want that to influence him in any way. She just okay, cool. We're trying to capture this moment. I don't want you to overthink it. We're trying to get it when it comes. So he's like, okay, cool. And now he's just like, fuck, what the hell's going to happen? Because he has no idea what's going to happen.
I think that's hella fun. It's super rad. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. It was a little bit interesting hearing about all of that, but also I'm just like, I'm never going to watch it in English.
I mean, the English, to be fair, the English is fine.
Yeah.
And, they've...
As far as... honestly, Funimation, their dubs are always all right.
Yeah, they try really hard, man.
Yeah, and it shows, too. Because, maybe not every character is going to be perfect in every scene.
Yeah,
but,
I agree.
They get the gist of it. For Overhaul, he was talking about how he became a part of the show and how into everything he was and how excited he was to be a part of it and how he kind of came up with the character. And he was actually doing voiceovers for 2 different kinds of characters. And then it got switched. He had to do this character as the other one that he was doing the voiceovers for. And it worked out better. So then he wound up being Overhaul, and he had bronchitis at the time that he became that character. So now he has to figure out how to get into that same voice that he was kind of doing in a different way. And it was all really interesting how they were talking about it. And then when I watched it, I kind of felt like his inflection was a little bit off.
It was
for that scene. Yeah. Good voice, the inflection made it feel like he wasn't the right character.
I was telling you that after hearing him, and for some reason,
like you read the books.
I've read the manga, and I'm those points of it at least, and I'm just like, yeah, man, I just didn't imagine it being the way he said it. Hopefully, the Japanese actor can do a better job. It's not that I hated it. It's just like, it was fine. It's okay.
Having only read a few things before seeing the anime, I haven't really ever had a voice in my head while I'm reading it. I have a general oh man, this is kind of what's going on, but it's all in variations of my voice, I guess, for each character. It doesn't matter if they're male or female characters. So having you say that, I started thinking I haven't really thought that. I guess every voice that I've heard in my head has kind of just worked out whenever I hear what the voice actually is.
Yeah,
I'm like,
for sure.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Or you kind of accept it. You're like, yeah, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, but it didn't. Yeah, it didn't land.
It was fine. What I wanted to say was for this panel, it was entertaining. It did get kind of a little
bit pandering.
Yeah,
it
was pandering.
A
lot. I mean, there were some really nice moments. Honestly, here, check this out. My least favorite person that was up there was the overhaul guy. He did a lot of meme things, He fucking called everybody what's the word? Breathtaking. Just kind of fucking Keanu. I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up, right? But then he had a really nice moment where he's like, hey man, I've been coming to Anime Expo for years, and
since he was 13.
He's like, my dream has always been to be up here and being a part of this, and now I'm here, and it's I'm really fucking happy. Accomplished
this is my moment.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm really happy for him.
He's just so excited. Yeah, and that made more sense why he was acting the way that he did. This is his first time doing anything like this.
The Todoroki guy and the fucking Endeavor guy, they were pretty funny. I
liked Endeavor's voice actor a lot.
Yeah, he was super great. Nice, and
they talked about the characters the moments in My Hero, which really influenced them, and what character moments were the biggest thing. Is for Endeavor, I like how it's kind of a slow ongoing thing of you hear his name and then you know that he's the number 2 hero, and you hear he's kind of a jerk, and then you see him and he is kind of a jerk, but then you see him as a hero, and it's just kind of a development. And then he's like, but personally, it's just anything Froppy. We need more Froppy. I fucking love Froppy. Yeah. And I thought that was so fucking funny that even though he's this character that's such a different kind of person than he is, you're just nah, man, Froppy's best.
I kind of laughed when his picture went up for all the different characters because
you were like,
because
that's him.
They put the character and then they have the person's headshot, and then Endeavor went up and he looked I'm like, that's Endeavor? That's a guy you'd see at your fucking local Magic the Gathering.
And then you hear him and you're like, oh, that's Endeavor. That is he is perfect voice acting.
Yeah, the one cool bit from I think the Japanese voice actors is she shared a story where she was saying that
this was cool.
Well, she does, first of all, she does Invisible Chick and Mountain Lady.
Yeah.
And she was explaining how
she came up on stage and she was like, hello. And then she did it in Mountain Lady rebutting back, just no.
She talked about how those two characters are different, and I was like, that's super interesting that she does both of them and does both of them very well, right? Anyways, she had a story where she was saying the guy who does voice for All Might comes in one day and he's doing his bits or his lines, and there's just one big yell or whatever he says, and he does it so hard that he collapses.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, oh fuck, super scared. Yeah, it was just super interesting that we were able to see how intense the voice acting can get for them.
Oh yeah, it's so cool.
And she said she was kind of scared, but then she was happy that he was okay and whatever. And I was like, fuck, I've never seen anybody pass out from doing their job so good,
Right.
So yeah, so that was pretty fun. Anyways, this whole bit dragged on some, and then I was like, okay, cool, just fucking play the thing. I really want to see the thing. They also announced, the box set for season 3, part 1, and the future season 3, part 2 that's coming out. I'm like, cool, I'm probably not gonna buy them. It's whatever.
It's not for me.
Yeah. Because fucking whatever.
Thanks, Crunchyroll.
Thanks, Crunchyroll. Thanks, Hulu, or Funimation or whatever they're fucking on.
Just everything. Whatever.
Yeah. So then we got to see the first episode of season 4.
It was good.
It was good.
It ends on a cliffhanger. So for those of us that went and saw it in the premiere thing, it's cool. I have to wait 4 months for the next
part 2. Yeah.
Fuck.
So my only issue with this, the only parts I didn't really like about what they showed us is they cut the intro and outro song out. They also
which they're probably not done.
Yeah, they also cut out the. I mean, they could have put something in there. They also cut out the They could have put something in for sure. They cut out the in between, where the plus ultra bits come up.
Yeah.
So there's parts where there would be a hard edit or a hard cut, and it felt just really bad. And I was like, oh, I realized why that was. And I was like, okay. The first part of it was a pretty big fight scene, right? Was really cool, introducing new characters or getting a better look at new characters. And then the second part was just kind of back into the old grind of, fucking,
hey, we're in school,
and this is the next. We're setting you up for the next thing. Kind of like, hey, we're setting you up for the fucking sports festival, or we're setting you up for summer camp, or fucking internships, or whatever. This is the next thing that they're setting us up for. So yeah,
it's exciting. I'm excited,
and it looked good. Again, it was English dub, something that we don't watch, but it was able to watch. We were able to watch it. Yeah, fine.
I mean, we've heard their voice actors and whatnot before, and yeah.
So it was okay. I'm excited to see season 4 whenever it comes. I know what's going to happen for it most because of the manga or whatever, and I know you don't because you don't read it, which is great. I think it's awesome because it's one of the it's like the one anime you don't read that I
know, honestly, yeah. It's one of the ones that I'm like,
I'll wait.
I should have read it, but
fuck it.
At this point, I feel like I've only done the anime. I'm just going to keep only doing the anime, and I'm cool with that.
That's how I feel about fucking
Attack on Titan. I feel the same way.
Promised Neverland.
Neverland.
I just fucking watched the show. Yeah.
There are certain things, like, I got in the Promised Neverland before the show came out, but if I had seen the show, I'd have been like, oh, yeah, no, I'm just watching the show. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I've read it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to eat that fucking shit up. But then there's Made in Abyss where I'm like, oh, man, this show's really cool. I want to see more. Yeah. And I'm reading the fuck out of it.
Yeah, so we'll obviously have a better review of season 4 when that starts coming out.
So excited. Okay, so then next up, you guys went to the exhibit hall, and I went back into the same room for Sound Euphonium, the film. And holy shit, dude, it was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, Sound Euphonium, I love the show. I saw the first season a few years ago, and then it was a few months after we started the podcast. I mean, maybe it was like half a year or whatever. Season 2 came out, and I was like, oh shit, it's been a little bit. Okay, cool, let's check out season 2. And season 2 was great. And then Liz and the Bluebird came out last year, and we saw the premiere at Anime Expo, and that was fantastic. It was a spin-off kind of thing because it focused on 2 other characters that were very, very minor characters in the TV show, and it showed how they had their moments, and it was cool following along and seeing like, oh, I know these settings, I know kind of all these characters, but I don't really know most of them because I only followed like a little bit. So this picks up Sound Euphonium, the new movie here. I don't remember what it's called. It's like The Sounds of Brighter Day or
I think
something
like
about
that. Promise or whatever.
Yeah, Promise, the bright sounds of day.
The new beat, Promise Forever.
Anyways, the way that season 2 ends is they have a spoilers, by the way. They have a competition and they don't get gold. They get silver though. So they pull like a little haiku on us, and they're like, yeah, they're not going to win, but they're going to grow from this. And all of the seniors graduate. They go away, and they're like, the thing that I like so much about this is that it's not just hey guys, we'll try harder next time. It's like, we practiced all year. We don't get to try harder. Mm-hmm. We fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's how season 2 ends. And I'm like, whoa, this show's fucking great. So then we get into the movie, and now the characters that we were following through the first 2 seasons, like the main characters, that little group or whatever, they are now second-year students. Mm-hmm. So they have seniority over all the new students coming in. They kind of talk about like how they have to get like new freshmen for all the different instruments so that they could have a more full band and whatnot. Anyways, we get to meet a few of the incoming students, and it's interesting seeing all their personalities from a different viewpoint. Originally coming in, you see, okay, so we're with these characters, and they're intimidated, and they're scared, and they're getting into it, and they want to do music, but they don't know exactly what they want to play, if they want to keep playing the same instruments that they did in junior high, going to high school, or if they want to do something different, or whatever. And this time, it's like, all right, so these are students that we're taking under our wing, and we're going to teach them. Mm-hmm. But we only have 2 hours to go through this story instead of 2 seasons. So it's going to be a bit different. And it starts out, we get to learn all the characters a little bit. There are some extra bossy people. There are some that, honestly, they did such a good job at making these characters feel genuine and being able to just be like friends talking to each other about these other students. And they're like, Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, he's got a little bit of an attitude problem, but he just has a complex about his name and that he's short for whatever reason. And I don't really need to go into that, but those are the deals with this kid. But honestly, I see he's going to be pretty good. And like, I don't know about this girl. She's clearly really good about playing music, but there's something else going on and she won't tell us. And then as it goes on, you find out, oh, okay, so that girl is intimidated because she's really good at playing music, but she's not as well liked. And she put up this barrier for like this reason and that reason. There's this other girl that plays the same instrument as her, and they're kind of like butting heads because this other girl's more popular and way more friendly and everything, even though she's worse. And there's a whole thing that goes on, and you get to see some like really cool development with that. Our main character, she has kind of just been she's like the counselor, I guess, is what you could say. Other band members will go to her for advice on things, and like all the freshmen kind of come to her as she seems like she's a really nice, very open, very kind person that's good at giving advice. And that's kind of the role that she plays in her second year as a student, instead of focusing on the music, which she's also practicing and really good at and helping everyone out with. She's also being kind of like emotionally there for different students in certain ways. So it just had such a different kind of story than the first year of school for them. And man, seeing the performance at the end, they did perform the piece Liz and the Bluebird, which is the same one from the movie, that Liz and the Bluebird movie, except instead of focusing on the solo, which was the whole purpose of Liz and the Bluebird being about these two characters that are doing the solo, it focuses on the entire band practicing and like their relationships. It honestly, it feels like one of those things where it helps if you've seen Sound Euphonium going into it, but if you didn't see it, this would still be a great standalone movie. And I'm glad that it was, even though it's been about 2.5 years since I have watched the show. I felt like I was just right back into it. It was really great. Absolutely fantastic. It blew my mind at how good they were at making me feel emotion for these characters that I didn't know at all until this came around. And I don't know, man. It was something special. The animation is fucking phenomenal, by the way. 11 Arts is distributing this, so that's cool. It's coming out July 11th in theaters as subbed, and I think it's July 15th as dubbed. I highly recommend people go see this. It's really good. The music's fucking amazing. The animation is gorgeous. The characters are all really interesting and really well developed. Just a fucking stellar movie, man. So then after that, I was going to go see Anemone, and I posted about this on like Twitter and shit, and I think we talked about it last night on the episode. Anyways, definitely did not want to go see that because I already know I'm going to watch Anemone in the future. It's the second movie in a trilogy of Eureka 7 movies where they're retelling the story, but everything's fucking changed for whatever reason. And every time that they do this with Eureka 7, they absolutely fucking bastardize the story and the characters. There's no reason for them to keep doing it. But of course, I'm a fucking dumbass, so I want to see it all because I love the original series so much. But the movies have never been good. They've already had, I think it's been 2 movies. They had Pocket Full of Rainbows, and then they had whatever Eureka 7 the first movie was that we reviewed like a year or whatever ago.
So you decided just not to watch something shitty after watching something great?
Yeah, I'll watch it eventually. I'll tell you guys not to watch it some more in the future.
Nice.
So then after I was done, you guys were waiting in line to go to Cloverworks.
Yeah, so we went to Cloverworks.
Cloverworks is they're associated with A1 Studios. They were kind of founded around the same time that Darling in the Franxx came out a year ago.
And yeah, literally, they were saying that their business, their company's literally 10 months old. That's how how long they've been like in the business, right?
But different directors and producers that work at Cloverworks that were working at A1, which they're the same studio, just subsidiary or whatever.
Yeah, has now moved to Cloverworks.
Yeah, so they consider all of the properties that those directors and producers worked on while at A1 Cloverworks. Yeah,
which is like all the good ones.
Kind of fucked up, right?
It's pretty shitty. Because we went to the A1 Pictures panel, I was like, yeah, these are okay. We're the ones I love though. Like,
right? Dude, I'm like, like sword art.
Yeah,
sure,
it's fine. Where the fuck is fucking Erase Dog? Where's Anohana? Where's Shelter? That came up today.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, I forgot about Shelter. How great it was. Anyway,
honestly, Shelter was really fucking good. Go watch that right now.
Yeah, stop this. Watch Shelter. So yeah, I want to do a quick shout out to the one girl. There was one like red vested chick who was in charge of both our line and this other line that was like across from it. We were in hall like 403 and 40.
You were upstairs in some little area where a lot of people just hang out.
And she's like, hey, okay, Premiere, ADA, press, you can line up here. These other two lines that are for this are outside. So she was making sure like people knew that. She was repeating it. She was yelling because she was alone and she had to get people's attention.
Yeah, which is fine.
But the thing is, like, some people were kind of scared. And I was like, yo, man, everybody that she's like yelled this to, or everybody she stops, goes, hey, are you a general admission? And they look at it. He's like, yeah. She goes, she was so helpful about telling them, this is where you're going to go, turn left, turn right, you're going to see this.
She knows exactly what's going on.
She was like on her shit.
How is that even possible?
I don't know. She was like super confident. I was like, wow, this is really nice of her.
Shout outs to Mariella.
Yeah,
you know?
Shout outs to her. I don't know what her name was.
Yeah, me either, but fucking, that's her name now.
Not all fucking superheroes wear capes. But she was super cool. We got into the Cloverworks thing. It was a smaller room.
It's normally like a little video viewing room. Yeah.
It filled out, man. Obviously, it was super full.
Yeah.
I think at first, just the premiere and press went in, right? And there's maybe like 40 of us, right? And the Cloverworks people are looking around, be like, "Yeah, this is like a good turnout," And like you see people who are like Cloverworks executives or whatever, like taking pictures of stuff, like, "Yes, we did it," or whatever, And the girl was like, "Okay, we're gonna start in a bit." Whoever was moderating, we're gonna start the Cloverworks things a bit. And then the general admission people start coming in, and she's like, "Okay, we're gonna wait." And then that bitch was full, and they go, "Okay, now let's start for real," So they brought out the CEO of Cloverworks. They brought out the CEO and president, I think, and then they brought out he's a producer for like a bunch of shows they have, and then they also brought out later after they talked for a bit the director of fucking the kids. What's the kids? Promise Neverland. I can't forget the kids.
Like,
what's the kids? The Promise Neverland.
Kids on the Slow.
The Promise Neverland director, and they did a quick Q&A. They showed videos of like what they've worked on in the past, right?
Yeah, a little like what are they? Demo reels.
Yeah, like bunch of bangers. They've got a lot of products or a lot of like fucking things in their repertoire, even though they have only been around for 10 months, right?
Honestly, I mean, Rascal, Promise Neverland, Darling in the Franxx, those are all fucking huge. Like Darling is crazy popular.
Yeah, Persona 5, Shelter.
Oh yeah.
I was like, these. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't even realize these were like these counted.
Anohana kind of counts.
Yeah. So, anyways, they were talking about, hey, look, we haven't been around that for long, but we've been producing stuff, and I think we're producing it at high quality, and we're going to continue to produce stuff at high quality. We just need your support. And we're like, yeah, dude, fucking, we're here to support you. So they answered some questions about their works for the last 10 months.
Their Clover works.
One of the questions that I liked was they asked them, what's the hardest thing you had to work with, or what was the most interesting? Actually, what's the most interesting thing you've been working on this entire year? And this guy was kind of young. He was the producer, and you could tell he was young. He was a little more like loosey goosey, and he was saying that, this year he's like, we had the opportunity to work with Trigger on Darling in the Franxx, and he goes, and that was a huge undertaking, working with such an established studio as Trigger. He goes, I've seen, these Trigger panels or whatever in the past, and those guys, they go off, they're
crazy.
They're balls to the wall or whatever. And he goes that was an interesting thing to work with. He goes, I'm super honored to do it. It was great. And it was a lot of fun. He goes but it was for sure like a learning experience. And then when he brought out the Drawing the Franxx director, he's like, the Drawing the Franxx director was very meek, very quiet, very serious. The guy brings up like, hey, it's like, working with this director was amazing. He's like, way different than working with the Drawing the Franxx guys. Like, honestly, like night and day. It's like he was never stressed. He was about his business. I thought that was super cool.
That is really cool.
We then this shit was super quick paced. Like they were this panel was a well-oiled machine. Like they had everything in order. They showed the thing. They talked a bit. They then went to what projects are coming out next, right? And the things that they showed were there's this new. I'm going to bring this up real quick because I have it on my phone.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, there's also a lot of news that we weren't able to cover. That's a lot of cool stuff too. That
So the stuff that they announced isn't like it's like super unknown. It's like it's not like, hey, they announced this brand new project. It's like, oh, cool. Right. Everybody kind of knows. So obviously they announced, hey, man, Promised Neverland season 2. Duh, right? They announced Fate Grand Order Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia, which is like, cool. That's way too many words, right? They announced this fucking How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend Fine, like the movie. It's like the final movie or whatever. And then there was one more thing they announced. It was called, this movie, it's called To Those Who Know of the Blueness of the Sky or whatever. And those last two movies are coming out this year. They said the Babylonian thing is to be determined or whatever. Yeah. And I think the last one, and then the Promised Neverland is like 2020. We don't know when yet. It's like, cool. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they're working on stuff super hard. They had a Q&A. The questions were really competent. I feel like people went up there.
I love when people nail Q&A questions.
Solid questions. Somebody asked.
There are definitely times where I'm like, I could ask something better, but I don't ever want to because I feel like there's always a better question to ask than the question that I would ask.
Someone asked like about the creative process. I think the answer to that one was pretty weak, and I only think it was because maybe they didn't understand the question all that well. Or maybe, that was... And I was like, I get it. They did give a good answer, but it wasn't answering the guy because he kind of stood there standing like, okay. One guy went up there and did ask about this whole, my girlfriend movie thing or whatever. He's like, hey, he said some shit like, this was a pretty dumb one. He goes, so, I know the final movie is coming out, the final movie, but like, are you guys doing anything after that? Because there's, and then it's just like...
I know that it's never going to happen again, but are you doing it?
He named, I think it's like a spin-off or some other like light novel that is based, something
he goes like that.
He is planning on adapting that, and they kind of go, well, it's called the final movie, so we're making the movie. As of now, we don't have any, other things in the works for that. We could always wait, but... He goes, I don't know, maybe. They also hinted at that, like, what they're going to do Persona 5 or whatever. Yeah. Because they said, well, he's like, we're just kind of waiting on there to be Persona 6. If they ever make that game, it'll probably be a Persona 6 anime, It's like,
hell yeah.
People are like, whoa. Someone asked about how they did the camera angles in, how they did the camera work in Promised Neverland. They said it was very cinematic or whatever. Yeah. And the director was super like, you could see he like pep up. He goes like, oh my god. He's like, I've been wanting to like make a 3D house in a 2D anime for so long. He's like, and I finally got to do it. He's like, there were so many different angles I was able to do. He goes like, it was the best. He was like so juiced.
That's such a good question. I was like, honestly, because we talked a little bit about it, how there's different like shots where certain characters are blocked out, and there's framing work done by curtains.
It's all done by choice, though.
It's so good.
And you go, why did he do that? And another good question was some guy questioned or asked, hey, I read the manga, and there's this. He asked for like a specific shot. He goes, hey, there's a bit where, I think it was like. What's the name of the white-haired boy?
Norman. Yeah.
He said Norman and I think it was Norman and
Ray
or Norman and Emma were like talking, and then one of them walks away to go like wash their hands or wash a dish or something like that. And in the manga, apparently they're having a huge monologue in their head.
Yeah, that's the way it always is.
Yeah. He goes in the anime, you guys didn't do that. He goes like, and I just wanted to know like why you chose to do that, and can you explain that decision or whatever?
Yeah.
And the director was trying to he was trying to understand that specific moment, and then he goes, then they rephrase it to like, can you explain why there aren't really any monologues or like inner thoughts in the anime? And then he goes,
and that's something that I've kind of talked about a little bit on our podcast. Yeah.
And the director's, it's like, cool. Like, we talked about this in the Promised Neverland panel we had yesterday. He's like, he goes, but obviously we read the source material, and the director was saying like, yeah, I mean, when I got to, he's been working since like 1991 on a bunch of shit.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
He said, yeah, they asked me to do this show, and I said, sure, I'll pick it up. And goes, and then I was just like riding my commute to work or whatever, and I kept noticing like just a bunch of stickers and like stuff all over the stuff, and it just kept saying like, fucking Promised Neverland #1, Promised Neverland, like all over the place. He's like, huh. So then he picked up like a manga and started reading it, and then before he realized, he's like, oh fuck, I'm working on like a really beloved and popular anime. He's like, shit, I better not fuck this up. Like he had no idea he was stepping into this, right? So he was saying, okay, so I read the source material, and I was like, yeah, I noticed all the monologues or whatever, and I get it. He goes like, but we decided to not do that because it makes it more scary. He's like, a lot of characters have monologues in the thing, not just, the main characters. So does mom or whatever. She'll have her.
Yeah.
He goes like,
there's a lot of internal thought.
Internal thought is like, so like, if we just remove that from mom, right, and we can't know what she's thinking, that's so much scary. He's like, fuck it, we'll just remove it from everybody. We can't think of what any of them is saying. He's like, and we'll try to do other things like camera angle, facial stuff to be like, try to
convey a little bit
what they're trying to think. He's like, but we don't want to tell you what they're thinking. He goes, that makes it feel more realistic.
Well, essentially, yeah, you do wind up seeing everything. And there are some things that were like internal dialogue where they are going over like, clearly Norman's thinking this, so this is what I have to do in order to like do that. And instead of that little bit, they're just like, hey, Emma, I'm thinking this. And Emma's like, cool, I thought you were thinking that. Yeah. And that's instead of being like, I know, because we're geniuses.
I don't think they have anything against, the internet.
Yeah, it didn't do anything really that bad.
He's just like, you know what, I just think it was just my choice to cut it out.
Honestly, that was the biggest change, and everything else was fantastic. Yeah. And that was still fine. It was just, there were moments where it was kind of goofy. Yeah. Like, you guys are talking out loud. There were people everywhere. What the fuck?
The one bit about the Q&A that I really hated was Sierra pointed out that the fucking douchebag from Pony Canyon that asked about the waifus was in line. No. And I go, oh my God, please don't ask these three guys about their waifus and husbandos. And luckily the last question was right before his. And I go, and I was like, I literally went, yes, fucking praise the Lord. Sit down, you fucking douche. The moderator did bring up waifus 3 times she was my waifus are, 0, 2, and Bunny Girl. I was just like, come on, you're the moderator, be a little more fucking professional, dog,
But you're also like, I get it, but why bring it up here?
Yeah, why bring it up here, especially with these industry fucking professionals? Yeah. I just really dislike the fact when people...
moderators, it's interesting because they try to connect with the audience by doing that nerdy shit, but it's also like, you can try to connect. I feel like the Funimation moderator, she is also the... I don't remember. It's like the executive press coordinator or something.
I think I know what you're talking
about. She's the social media manager.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She is so good at keeping it professional and also being like, I'm a fucking fan, dude. Yeah. I am with you guys here. Also, I'm with these guys.
But at no point do I cringe,
Yeah, no, she is a pro. But she's also Funimation. She's not just like a moderator that anybody could get at any. Yeah.
This moderator, I think, was she was Aniplex of America or some shit like that. Okay. She was a part of something else. Anyways, that was the Q&A, and that was all that. They announced those small things. Obviously, they're going to be making more stuff. There wasn't anything too massive, and I was like, okay, cool. It was fine. It was a really good panel. The really cool thing I really liked was that they did announce that, hey man, this is officially the first ever Cloverworks panel ever.
Yeah, and I was really cool.
I was like, oh, it's awesome. And they also said something like, before they said goodbye, he was like, hey man, thank you all for being here supporting us. He goes, I was super scared that like no one was going to show up, or like
fuck you guys. We love you.
He goes, I was super scared like there'd be like half the thing, and I was gonna be like, cool, because I see other panels and they're massive and they're full. It's like, and he goes, to see everybody here, with the lights on, and like it's feels really good. I was like, oh, nice.
Oh, I love you guys.
Then they did a giveaway. Fucking, I'll tell you what, Cloverworks did it right. They gave away 11 pieces of things. Like,
good for them.
Not like 3 things. Not like it's like fucking 11. I was like, yeah, because all it is having someone draw stuff for you. We didn't win. Fucking bullshit. Sierra was 2 away this time.
Sierra needs to get better luck.
She's the most luckiest of unlucky. Like, she's always super close. There was really cool ones too, man. There's some darling shit. There was some Bunny Girl Senpai. There was what's it called? A really cool Persona fucking 5. I'm not even a fan of Persona 5.
Yeah, but it's fucking cool Promised art and shit.
The one that was like
really cool
the least interesting was the one for the new movie that came out, and that's because I don't know anything about it. And then 2 of them were just like
sure.
The Anohano guy, like, just I think he like wrote the script or whatever. He just wrote really big letters being like, hey man, this is my name, thank you, or whatever. And I was like, cool. Yeah, so whatever, good cool. time. I will go on for sure. I think I want to continue to keep going to the Cloverworks panels. They do stuff that I like.
So it's like Pony Canyon but better.
Kinda, yeah. And it's like it's kind of taken over the bit. Like, yeah, I went to the A1 Pictures panel. I wasn't impressed. Maybe I'll just start going to the fucking Cloverworks panel, see what they got.
Sorry, A1 Pictures.
Sorry, A1 Pictures.
You know, because we've been... I don't know what was up with this year, but in the past, we've been in Petrie Hall, which is a very large area for panels.
I didn't go to a single thing this year.
No, not a single one. But they've done previous things with like Netflix and A1, and they do these big announcements. They're like, check out these cool new crystal figures and like weird shit like that.
Yeah,
like, we're going to do a giveaway. Just go ahead and tweet this shit. But I feel like this year it was a little bit more like, hey guys, you guys know our anime? But just in case, here's all of our anime and show us a demo reel. And, like,
and we go, I saw them.
Why don't we check out this trailer for this thing? Let's open it up for Q&A. And it's like, what? That was a trailer for a show that's already out. What the fuck? Like the Mappa one? What the fuck was that? Yeah. That was also in a huge place.
Like the movies that they announced at Cloverworks. I'm like, I knew at least about like one of them, right? Mm-hmm. They didn't talk about the Bunny Girl Senpai. And I was like, cool, because obviously that's coming out literally tomorrow, right?
Yeah. And man, back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I mean like
last year, the year before.
No, it was a while ago. They used to do giveaways at like everything, and it wasn't just like raffle type giveaways. It was like, all right, the first 200 people here get a free Eureka 7 t-shirt.
Oh, cool.
For the Bones panel. And Eureka 7 wasn't even popular at like that time. They were just like, we got some shirts for you guys.
Kind of like when you come into the movies at like, you know, fucking mall and be like, hey man, here's this limited edition fucking bucket. And you go, nice.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, cool, free poster, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I did get a free poster for Sound Euphonium, so we might be doing a giveaway. It also comes with a little like file folder thing, which is cool
looks
too.
Like a sleeve you would put like musical stuff in there.
Yeah, which is, I don't know, it's pretty neat. The art looks really good, but we might do a giveaway for that if there's interest for it. So we'll check that out. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all the panels and stuff we went to. Other than that, we just did some more exhibit hall stuff and checked out the entertainment hall and whatnot. But anyways, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of news that is stuff that we didn't personally see. We didn't talk about yet. It's all that kind of stuff. So like they didn't announce this at the My Hero panel, which I thought was weird. But My Hero Academia Season 4 is going to be 25 episodes long.
Dope.
So that's always good to know. Speaking of episodes long, Fire Force is going to be 48 episodes as of right now.
Dude, too short of 50. Get your fucking game on, dog.
Get ready.
Get wrecked, fucking Black Clover. Get wrecked.
A Shirobako movie is going to premiere in spring 2020.
Okay. That's
going to be rad. Konosuba is their Konosuba movies coming to Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Which is fucking dope. People are really excited about that. We're not Konosuba boys, but fuck yeah, dude. When movies come to Crunchyroll, that's so nice.
Yeah, it's really convenient.
Hella cool. Let me see. There was a few more things that I was like, this is important. We should talk about it. Like, okay, this was interesting. And I don't like this. Other people do like it. Mm-hmm. Demon Slayer. The intro visuals are changing.
But not the song.
The song isn't. They're doing like a Hunter x Hunter thing, which some people fucking love. Other people,
I can't remember if I know the Demon Slayer song off the top of my head. It must not be memorable.
It's just, that's kind of the issue with it.
I mean,
I remember watching it and being like, these visuals are rad as hell. Kyle, you're in the room. Do you remember the song for Demon Slayer's intro? We've watched it like 11 times.
All I'm saying is that...
So Kyle doesn't remember either. He's putting his fingers all over his mouth like he's thinking really hard. He's contemplating. Nobody knows what the fuck. So,
I mean,
I don't know.
I understand this. I get it. They probably like the song. That's how I kind of felt about the Mob Psycho Season 1 song. I love it so much. I was like, they can't do a second one. You know, they're going to fuck it up. They should do the first. And they made the second one. Like, the second one fucking bumps.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if they never changed the Attack on Titan theme song. They're all different, but they're all good in their own different ways.
Can we just skip the third one though, or the one for season 3? I don't like that one, but I do get what you're saying, because the first one, what is it?
You remembered it? All right, it's just some generic ass shonen shit. Yeah. Okay.
What was I gonna say?
Yeah, so Kyle does remember it, but it's not one of those ones that you're like, give me fire, turn it up, baby, It's not some Dororo shit.
It's not some fucking, what's the one for fucking...
Fire!
Okay, no, Coco.
Oh. Coming out, everybody crazy out.
That was dope, song. Yeah.
Anyways,
the first intro to Attack on Titan is so good, and I was like, you can't do better. And then the second one came out, I was like, you did better, dog. How'd you do this?
Other people weren't that into it.
Well, fuck them, they were wrong.
It. Oh man, I love it.
I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I don't really care. I'm going to keep watching Demon Slayer until I'm bored with it.
So that was it's an interesting little tidbit. So yeah, the third season of Golden Kamui is in the works, so they're doing that.
People really like that show. It's good for them. I like parts of the show. I don't like the in between parts till it takes to get there. It's a weirdly ugly show at points.
It was not for me, but whatever. So Made in Abyss's movie coming out soon, Dawn of the Deep Soul. This is continuing the story from the TV show. There's already a recap Made in Abyss movie that's been out. The trailer dropped for Made in Abyss, Dawn of the Deep Soul, so that's pretty exciting, cool stuff.
Yeah, man, that sounds really good.
Hell yeah. Apparently Makoto Shinkai's having a hard time meeting the deadline for his new movie.
Is that the Surfer Boys? Or?
No, it's Weathering with You.
Yeah.
Which is the weird weather
give
one.
Give Makoto Shinkai all the fucking time he needs, man. Leave him the fuck alone. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, leave him alone.
Yeah. I'm confused why there is a deadline, because nobody's like, we fucking need this.
I mean, studio's probably like, hey man, you're costing us money, not throwing this out.
Yeah,
we need to make money. It needs to come out so we can make money or whatever. That's probably what it boils down to, honestly.
Yeah, which makes sense. I think that's pretty much everything that's new stuff that we should talk about. I don't think there's anything else really going on.
Let's speed run fucking what we bought today. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I bought a shitload of stuff this time. The first time we went to the exhibit hall, I saw a figure that I was like, maybe I want this. I don't really know. It's a Nicholas D. Wolfwood from Trigun figure, and it was a little bit I don't know if I want to pay that much for it, but I don't know. I debated with it. I decided, fuck it, dude. I got this. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Also, Sierra wound up finding a Nanachi figure from Made in Abyss, which I'd been looking for a Nanachi figure the whole time, and I couldn't find any.
The only one I know is this one that's really chibi, and then one where a fishing pool.
Yeah.
The fishing pool one is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It is so expensive, though.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't even know this one existed, and I saw it, and I was like, yo, bro, I gotta buy that shit.
Hell yeah. So I found another one. Somehow Sierra found one, and I found another one at a totally different booth. They had none, and I got that. I was hella stoked to get that one. And then we got let's see. I wanted to buy another big figure. I was going to go and try to find a Monster Hunter figure. I wanted to get a Giantess Teostra. I convinced myself, you know what?
I've earned it. It's been a good year.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
A good fiscal year.
And I couldn't find it. Instead, I wound up finding a booth that had a shitload of blind box terrarium figures for Pokemon. So I bought 4 Pokemon terrariums, and I bought a Kirby terrarium and a Kirby ability figure.
Nice. What do you get?
Let's see. The terrariums, I got a Moltres, a Lapras, Mischievous, and a Ponyta, which were all really cool. And then the Kirby terrarium, I got a Wispy Woods, and the Kirby action one, I actually got him blowing out his ability star, which is a pretty cool one.
That's super dope.
Yeah. So I really, really was happy with all of my pulls from that. Like I said before, we got the Monster Hunter figures. I was happy with all those little blind box pulls of that. So this year overall, I'm pretty happy with everything. There were a ton of the Pokemon terrariums that I'm like, I would have rather had that, but honestly, they're all pretty cool. I wanted the Dragonair one more than anything, but I got a Lapras, so fucking who's gonna complain, right?
Yeah. That's cool, man. So
those were my pulls. And what did you get?
So for the exhibition hall, I just continued to do what I did the last time I was there. I was really looking for these fucking Ultimate Muscle action figures.
I was keeping my eye out nonstop.
Dude, I was
went into some
hard.
shady places.
Dude, me too, man. I went to some fucking deep dark holes, and they always smell really bad, and it's just a bummer. I found a place that I swear to God should have had it. I looked at it, I was like, this place has everything. And it was massive. I was like, how do they not have this? I talked to the guy for a split second, and he goes, hey man, we have this shop somewhere. He said he was located. I'd never heard of the place. He goes, here's our shit on, here's our business card. He goes, look at our fucking stuff inventory online. We do ship to places, we might have what you're looking for. And I go, well, fuck. I mean, it's not here. I'll keep that in mind. Maybe it'll be cheaper than buying it from where I've been buying them.
Yeah.
So I continue to look. No success, which is a bummer because I really like finding those. It's always a good time when I find those. It makes you feel like really good and accomplished because it's a very niche thing to look for.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And there's very few people that whenever I ask them for it, understand what I'm talking about. Either have to show them a picture, but usually like the old heads, which is like people who've been in the industry for a while. I go, hey man, Kinnikuman, and they go, yes, Kinnikuman, and they go. And I go, you have any figures? And they go, fuck no, man. Like, I had any of those things. And like, damn, Like last year I ran into a guy and he had literally 2. And I go, hey man, you got any more of these? He goes like, these are the only 2 I have. Like, I'm taking them right fucking now. I'm not even going to think, So I didn't find them. I did see other figures along the way that I did kind of keep my eye out for because I was like, hey man, if I don't get these things, I'm going to buy something to kind of make myself feel better. So I did find this figure of it's Goku riding a bicycle.
Yeah, literally, a motorcycle.
No, it's a
bicycle.
Yeah. I like it. When I set it up, I'll show you the picture because in the box doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
But what happened was, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, like one of the first Anime Expos we came to. I remember like seeing this figure, but it was behind glass.
Right. Yeah.
Because it was like one of those. It was one of those Dragon Ball Z like fucking places where they were showing like their new figures.
Yeah, and they were like Dragon Ball Super. Check it out.
They were pristine, and there was like. These aren't for sale. You can just look at them. And I remember seeing this one and be like,
6 months. Check it out.
Fuck, I really want this. But they didn't have it.
$570.
I looked into it. So it turns out the ones that I found were like, they were second releases or whatever. Because like they weren't from the, like kind of like comic books. It wasn't like the first edition of the figure. And they were also like different color variants of the figure. I picked one where he has a red bicycle and he has like I think it's like a red jacket also because I picked that one because the bicycle and the jacket both have the Capsule Corporation logo on it, which is Bulma's family's business. I was like, oh, that's cool. I like that. I think that's a nice touch. So I picked that one. That was like I think it made me like $60 or $70, something like that. For the first OG, like the first edition of this figure that I wanted, it's like I went online. It's $500, and I go, yeah, fuck that. That's not what I'm not paying that. So I got this figure. I'm super stoked for it. I'm happy about it. I would have liked to find what I really wanted to.
But hey man,
it is what it is, right? I also didn't find any shirts I liked this year, which is interesting because usually
that's a bummer.
Usually you can find something I like. I did really like. I went back and I saw the fucking OK Saitama, and it was like Miami Vice kind of colors. Yeah. But they didn't have my size. I was like, oh,
that sucks.
Bummer.
That sucks.
So I was like, okay, no shirts. I also didn't buy any art besides the the
one that you commissioned.
The one I commissioned. I was like, okay, no big deal. I did go to the jungle later today because
welcome to the jungle.
And the jungle's a like a anime fucking place.
Yeah, Tokyo Jungle.
And they have like 2 stores. Both shops are like just right across from each other.
Yeah, one of them is like a lot of figures. The other one's a lot of cards.
Yeah. They both have figures, though. Yeah. I went into one, and I find an old guy, and I go, hey, man, got any Kinnikuman? And he goes, oh, man, Kinnikuman. And he goes, check the store across the way. I know I've seen that we've had something, right? And I go, okay, cool. So then I go store across the way, and I go, hey, man, got any Kinnikuman? After I obviously look for it, and he goes, man, honestly, I know we've got something. He goes, I don't know where it is. He goes, honestly, it's probably in the store across the way. And I was like, you fucking piece of shit, right? So I was like, I gave it a once over. I asked twice. They didn't have it. I'm like, okay, cool. Today, this year has been a wash. Didn't get any fucking Ultimate Muscle figures. It's not the end of the world.
Man. We tried.
It's okay, right? And that was it, man. I really had a good time with my exhibition haul. Sierra had to finish half of the haul, and I had to finish the other half, so we were on different sides. And I was like, cool, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fucking mission it. Put my headphones in, blasted some music, and I fucking went on it. I had a really good time just making my way through people, trying to look for shit.
Yeah, it was cool. I just kind of like jetted around. I was like, figures, weeb.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Kyle's figure of the Black Knight from Dark Souls sold out. Couldn't find any Teostra because they were all sold out. Yeah. Like stuff like that. So it's just interesting that we lucked out with the figures that we did get, and I'm happy about all of it.
For sure.
And then after doing all of Anime Expo, we decided to wind down by coming back to the hotel for just a minute, and then our buddy Sho came over, and we went and got some Japanese food. Went to his favorite Japanese place in Little Tokyo, and we got you guys got nanban.
Yeah, chicken nanban.
Yeah, chicken nanban.
Which Sho explained. Sho's Japanese, by the way. Sho explained to us that nanban means like Southern barbarian.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Southern barbarian chicken.
It's what people said. Hey, we've learned how to cook this chicken from the people, the American people or the white people from the South or whatever. And it was fucking great. I really enjoyed my nanban.
Yeah,
my
man.
nanban was really good. Everything I had there was delicious, man. Like gyoza was good. My sushi was good. Show was right. That was a good restaurant. It was a shitty time to try to get seated because a party of 30 showed up before us.
Yeah, well, we can't win them all. I got a katsu bowl that was so fucking good.
Yeah. So then...
I don't know, man. It was a great time there.
We had fucking couple rounds of beers.
Oh, yeah. Also, at that time, my card came up declined, and I'm like, bitch, this is the last day on my trip. What?
Well,
and I had to call them.
He ran out of all of his money. He had no more money.
I had no more money. So I called up my bank and I was like, can you please put more monies in there? And they were like, sure thing. You could have more monies. How long are you going to be on your trip?
And they go, hey, man, the money's been there the whole time. We must have fucked up. It's like, yeah, you did.
It was really confusing. They were like, did you make this purchase on July 2nd? And I'm like, I don't even know what day it is today. And they're like, at Target, it was this much money. I'm like, I did go to Target before I left this trip. Yes, I did. Yeah. They were like, did you also get gas before you went on your trip? I'm like, I totally did. And
That's
like,
what you do.
Did you buy food on your trip? Yeah. And they're like, did you make this purchase from like a Square app on somebody's phone? I'm like, that's literally every purchase I've made.
Yeah, the last week.
So everything I'm like, I don't fucking know. But like, yeah, I did it. Anyways, it all wound up getting sorted out, so no worries, you guys.
Then we went to a coin-operated bar, right?
Oh, yeah, and it was all right.
Yeah, I played some games I never played before. My favorite game I played was this beer game where you
it's so much fun.
You tilt a bar back and forth with like these fucking levers and try to get a ball.
Yeah, it's like a physical game. Yeah. It's not like a video game.
And then you get the ball like to fall in a hole that lights up.
Yeah, this little metal ball. You have to avoid a bunch of holes. You don't want to fall in, but you want to get to the special holes.
And then we also played this. I played this game where like you punch like
you punch a thing.
You punch like a button and it shoots out a basketball. You try to make it through the hoop.
You just like, catapult a basketball into a hoop.
It was a lot of fun. Sierra played it. Her fist was starting to hurt, and I
was just really bad.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
It was cool.
And also, like they also had honestly, some of the best games were the pinball games. Like
I had such a good round on the Sopranos game.
Oh, did you?
It was so the whole time it's like, give us the fucking money, give us the friggin' money. Give us the friggin' money. Give us the fucking money. Give us the money. Yeah. It was like all these different ones. I was having so much fun. It was like, sleep with the fishes. R.I.P. Give us the fucking money. Just over and over.
No,
I made the strippers spin around on their poles. It was great.
I forgot how much I enjoyed pinball. Pinball's a fun game. I was telling Sierra, like, I thought when I was younger, I always thought, you know what? When I become an adult and I'm rich and successful, I'm going to have a pinball machine in my house. And then I got older and I go, fucking pinball machines are loud, you know?
And they kind of suck.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money. I was like, I don't need one of those. But you know, one of those beer games would be a lot of fun. That's really fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if it's going to be in the same vein at all, but we did hear, I'm probably not supposed to say anything about it, but we heard that there's going to be a Netflix documentary coming out that rivals kind of like Fistful of Quarters, which is our favorite.
We don't want to say, we don't want to name names, but
no, I'm not naming
our friend Robert Show told us about it.
Yeah, Robert Show did.
He works in the fucking LAPD office. Get him. Bust him, boys. Fucking audit his motherfucking ass.
Yeah, audit that auditor. Fuck. But yeah, I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm like, maybe it would be like a pinball type thing. I don't know.
Anyways, man, that wraps up literally the last day that we're going to be here at Anime Expo. Anime Expo is going on for one more day. We're not going to be able to, ride along with it.
Kind of a bummer, but honestly, man, I had a great time this year. I feel like we didn't miss out on like anything that we wanted to go to.
Bro, overall, I think Anime Expo this year was great. You know, there's always some kinks. There's always some fucking...
The start, like day 0, totally fine. Day 1, what the fuck?
Day 1 always sucks ass, though. Like, there's no way day 1 doesn't suck. Because everybody and their fucking mom wants to get into the fucking venue. No one knows what the lines are. It's a hassle. But I'll tell you what, as a whole... I think they've done things very well this year to make it more convenient going on forward.
I had such a good time.
I know that some people are going to think, they got cheated of like being able to see that what they wanted to see because they didn't get wristbands. I think the wristband situation is a lot better than having people bum rush like they did last year, you know?
Look, man, Kyle didn't get wristbands to either event, and that's just kind of the way that it goes sometimes.
Them's the breaks, right? That just happens sometimes.
And that's what would have happened if we got there, possibly.
Yeah. It just...
I don't want to line up like 12 hours before an event.
It's just the year before, it was for the My Hero thing, right? And it was just like, you got to be here. How did they figure that out? You had to get a wristband, or what was this?
Yeah, you had to line up really early, and then they would let you into the area to get a wristband, and then you had to like bum rush your way to the front
to then get
a wristband, and then just like leave. But what was interesting is that's how it worked out last year, and people did like do weird shit and camp out for it and whatnot. Even after they got their wristband, they were like,
they were told not to, whatever.
But
they told them to leave and they stayed. Yeah.
This time, for the My Hero event, we got in there. Everything's good. And they're like, hey, guys, how's everything going? Like, woo. You guys wait out there for a while? Yeah. Oh, man, some of you camped out for it? And then we're like...
That was physically impossible.
No, that didn't actually happen.
None of us could have done that, yeah.
She just thought it was the same as last year. Yeah, and making it all hype. Because people would have done that, though. That's the thing. So Thank goodness they came up with a good system that allowed us to not do that bullshit.
If you're really on the level, if you're really into this shit, if you really want to watch whatever the premiere is, you're going to be aware that they have these things like set up. Hey, man, that means next year maybe getting a wristband for another thing is going to be even harder. But I don't care. I think it's a more fair system. At least I will know.
Watch next year. We're just like, fuck it. Go back to the old.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I think it's more fair because at least I'll know before coming to Anime Expo, hey man, I'm not gonna be able to get into this thing because I couldn't get the wristband, and that's just how it is.
And then guess what? We got to go to other events instead, or we go to the exhibit hall. Then we check out the artist alley. There's always shit to do. So if we do miss out, oh well.
I did hate wearing the wristband a whole day before the thing.
It was pretty shit. It was honestly uncomfortable. Yeah, yours was really tight. Mine was only a little bit.
It loosened up in my sleep. I think that's good. So the next day, I wasn't like dying, but I will tell you that like. It wasn't fun for like at least most of the day.
Yeah, they for whatever reason put it super tight on your wrist.
Yeah.
I ripped mine off during the beginning of Sound Euphonium, and the chick next to me, I was just like trying to make it super subtle. I'm like, holy shit, this won't break. And I'm just like sitting there like until eventually like
I think it exploded.
Yeah. And I fucking like jolt over and it was awkward. It was great.
I left mine on and I didn't fucking rip it off until like I don't know. I want to say till I got to like the entertainment hall. I forgot it was on. And I was like, get this thing off me. I'm sick of it.
Oh man, feels great though. Right?
It felt really good. I felt so good to like be able to roll my wrist. So as a whole, Anime Expo this year, you did great. I think you're always doing a little bit better. There's some things you need to fix. Expo. But hey man. You added the scanners. You're doing fucking wristbands. You're doing the premiere lens in different spots. You did close up that thing where the Staples Center was. I don't know how I felt about that. But you still technically could get to the shuttle if you went through the garage.
There was some shit that we wound up learning, and I'm excited for next year to learn some more stuff.
Absolutely.
I think what it comes down to, the issues that happened day one were things that couldn't be avoided with scanners and whatnot. And people just didn't quite understand what the event was that were hired by SPJA.
Yeah.
Which, whatever, that happens. And I think that, the issue with the fucking red vest volunteers telling you to go in the wrong place essentially comes down to they're volunteers, and some of them are just doing it for a free fucking pass, and they don't actually give a fuck, and they weren't listening because they were stoned or whatever the hell.
They just don't know. Yeah, they don't. I'm pretty sure they don't get paid. Some of them do, but most of them don't, right?
No, yeah. The difference is if they're wearing a red vest and it just says like volunteer on it, there's nothing. Yeah. But there are tiers to it.
There are people who have like a bunch of passes. Like there are years where you see people who've been there for a while and you go, wow, this guy, I know I've seen this guy before. This guy knows what they're about. Sometimes you see a new person and you go, they're trying their best. That's why I take it all in stride. When like the guy said, hey, you're in the wrong spot, I go, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. It's no big deal, right? It's not the end of the world.
And then there's some people that work specific areas, like Casper was working in Hall B for the Mappa event, and then for the My Hero event, and for what's the other one that we went to in there that was ticketed?
Premiere.
For Mewtwo and Premiere and like all this different shit. Like Casper was there doing it for all these different companies and whatnot. And there are people that are fucking on it, and they know exactly what's going on. I don't know. I like that we're getting more consistency as the years go on.
Yeah.
I don't know who is doing all that stuff that's making it good, but keep it up.
Keep it up. Yeah, good job, Anime Expo. Good. Fucking, you get an A this round for anime. Anyways, that's the show. I have to wake up tomorrow early to go get breakfast with Sierra's grandparents, so that's going to be fun. We're going to fly home. This will air, I'm assuming, sometime tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? And that's it. Next
I
week,
was going to post this tonight.
Tonight? Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, it's fucking almost midnight, so it's almost tomorrow. What was I going to say? Next week, we're doing, is it Kyle's Trash thing?
Kyle's Trash thing is going to be next week, if possible. We'll record it on like Tuesday or something.
Yeah.
It'll go up on Wednesday, and then we'll do our summary episode, and then we'll do the preview because it takes a little while for anime to come out. Like right now, we don't have a full week of anime yet.
So we're doing so Kyle's Trash, then we're doing
our
review,
recap.
Yeah, the recap, and then preview. Cool. And that's it, man. Thanks for listening to us at Anime Expo these last 3 days. I know that getting 3 episodes in a row should be daunting or whatever, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, right?
And, hey, man, you don't have to listen to it all at once, so whatever.
Yeah, do whatever you want. You probably should listen to it. I mean, now, because when else can you listen to it? Tomorrow? That's stupid.
Okay.
Hey, if you like our logo, hit up Aaron from TurryTops.com. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Master on SoundCloud and YouTube. Trip, where can we find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. You can tweet at us. Tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast gonna fit.
You can shoot us an email, instantramenpodcast@gmail.com. We're also a whole bunch of other places. The links are all down in the description and whatnot. Thanks for listening, you guys. I really appreciate you. And hopefully next year we can see you at Anime Expo.
Yeah, this is bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.